Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Fpl Yathu Fantasy Premier League Talk Show. You're with me, your boy Zolit Nizande, and today in our 22nd episode, we have a few things to cover, but then really important things to cover. First of all, I'm going to give you tips on which players you should transfer in and you should transfer out. Besides that, I'm also going to explain the double game weeks that we are going to have and we might have in the future. And also, I'm also going to help you pick a team for this game week that's going to at least help you score at least 100 points. And I'm going to help you on how to captain this coming game week. And we're going to end our program with the fixtures of. We're going to end the program with our fixtures of game week 24. So I want you guys to stay tuned and let's dive in. Alright, so the first thing is last week's games. The games ended as follows. West Ham won 3-1 to Sunderland, which was a shocker because we know that West Ham is not in good form, but then it seems as if like they're getting back their form. So we need to watch out for West Ham players, especially Darren Bowen. That's one guy I might give you. And just a reminder that Lucas Paqueta I think he's been sold. And then the next game was Burnley 2-2 against Tottenham. Like I predicted last game week that this game might end in a draw. So it ended 2-2. Fulham and Brighton. Fulham won 2-1. Manchester City and Wolves. Manchester City beat Wolves 2-0. Bournemouth and Liverpool. Bournemouth beat Liverpool 3-2, which was also another shocker. I expected at least Liverpool to draw this game, but then it ended up as a win for Bournemouth. And I mean, if you have the Bournemouth strikers, that's good for you. You should keep them. But then moving on to the game weeks that they happen, I don't know. But then I'll explain that when I'm giving you the transfer tips. On Sunday we had Brentford versus Nottingham Forest. Forest won 2-0, beat Brentford at home. Crystal Palace versus Chelsea. Chelsea beat Crystal Palace 3-1. Let's go Chelsea. Newcastle versus Aston Villa. Newcastle lost 2-0 to Aston Villa. And Arsenal versus Manchester United. Arsenal lost. It was really a tough game, an interesting game, but then Arsenal lost 3-2. And then on Monday, Everton versus Leeds. This game ended in a 1-1 draw, whereby Leeds were leading and Everton equalized. Okay, so this is how it went out in game week 23. So now I'm going to give you like players to transfer in and players to transfer out. Okay, the first player I might tell you to transfer out is Phil Foden. I know he might get some minutes in the upcoming games, but then I think right now Phil Foden is a sellable asset because he's not really bringing in points like the way he did in those previous games whereby he gave us points, but then now he's been blanking. Despite that, we can look at Evan Nilsson for a long-term option as a striker. Evan Nilsson, I think he's on penalties now, and he's in good form. He's scoring goals, so I think we can get Evan Nilsson. Despite that, we can also look at Brian Mbeumo. He's scored in the past 2 double game weeks, and under Michael Carrick, he looks as a strong option. You know, that it's his trusted player. Mbeumo is going to score, and we've seen the guy has been clinical. Despite from Brian Mbeumo, we can also look at Bruno Fernandes. Bruno Fernandes, good form, being given those assists, and I'm sure Bruno Fernandes is also on penalties, so you can also go for Bruno Fernandes. Despite that, looking at Chelsea assets, Chelsea also have like good games in the upcoming fixtures, so you can maybe double up on Chelsea assets, maybe getting Trevor Chalobah Sanchez, or maybe Sanchez or Enzo Fernandez, either way. But then those are the 3 players I would advise you to get from Chelsea. I'm not sure about Cole Palmer because he's still struggling with the injuries. And JP, his form is usually up and down, and we know that with Dilap being around, they might do some huge rotations. Looking at Hugo Getike, advice that I got from my friends in the group was that you can sell Hugo Ekitike because his minutes too are being managed. So Ekitike is one guy you can sell. Darren Bowen is a buy because he's been performing well. That's if you are looking at a cheap striker, at a cheaper option. Darren Bowen is a good option because he's on penalties. But despite that, looking at the upcoming matches, they look like very difficult games. So I might think twice on that one. With Arsenal, you can go in their defense. Arsenal might play a double game with 2. Arsenal, you can go in their defense, but their attack right now is not stable. And talking about Arsenal, Bukayo Saka, you guys can sell Bukayo Saka, even though he has like some good fixtures coming, but Bukayo Saka isn't bringing us those points. And with this price, I don't feel like it's smart enough to keep Bukayo Saka. And looking at another striker that people are sleeping on is Oli Watkins. Oli Watkins has been giving us those points. I don't know why people aren't talking about Oli Watkins, but then I think Oli Watkins too is a good option. Maybe looking at his price, but then Oli Watkins has been scoring goals. And I heard that Tammy Abraham is coming, so I think maybe his minutes will be managed, but we'll see how it goes through. So those are some transfer tips that I wanted to give you guys. Moving forward to our third thing is the double game weeks. FPL has confirmed that we're going to have double game weeks in game week 26. This is because on game week 31st, there's going to be the Carabao Cup final. So the teams that might play a double game week is Arsenal or Chelsea. Between one of these teams, if they win in the second leg and they go to the Carabao Cup final, one of these teams will have a double game week, and it's a high chance that Arsenal is the one that's going to have a double game week because Arsenal is in good shape. Nevertheless, Man City and Newcastle might also have a double game week, and it looks like it's going to be Man City giving us that double game week. So just be sure on this thing. And advice from my other experts in the group, they said that don't rush into using your chips unless because we know that teams aren't performing well this time around. So unless it's really important, then you can do those activate your chips. But then that's what the experts said. Moving on, we might have 3 more double game weeks in game week, I think 34th, 35th, and 36th. Between these 3 game weeks, we might have game weeks depending on the FA Cup, how the FA Cup games go out. So I still urge you guys to keep those transfers. To keep those chips, because you never know how handy they might be in the future. Okay, and going forward on our fourth thing, who to captain this game week. Last week I told you to who's this captain Erling Haaland, but Erling Haaland blanked. He started on the bench, so my bad on that one. But then going into this game week, the guys that I would advise you to captain, first of all, Enzo Fernandez for Chelsea is going against West Ham United, and he has a good record against West Ham United. The other player I would advise you to captain is none other than Erling Haaland. I can't speak much about him, but then we all know what Erling Haaland is capable of. And the third player I would ask you guys to captain is Bruno Fernandes. He's going against Fulham. He has a good record against Fulham. So with those 3 players, Enzo Fernandez, Erling Haaland, or Bruno Fernandes, those are my captain picks. And moving on to the 5th thing is the team that I'm going to pick for you guys this week that's going to score you 100 points. First of all, in goals, I have Robert Sanchez. I've chosen Robert Sanchez because he's in really good form right now. After what he did in the Champions League, I'm sticking on Robert Sanchez because last week I told you guys to keep Robert Sanchez. He made those save assists, and the week before again, he came with 11 points. So Robert Sanchez is the guy that I'm going to pick. In defense, I'm going to double up on Arsenal defenders. Gabriel, I'm going to double up on Gabriel and Julian Timber. This is because Arsenal have a solid defense, despite their attack being in shambles, but then you can rely on the defenders. Despite that, I'm going to play Trevor Chalobah. I'm going to play Trevor Chalobah right next to Julian Timber and Gabriel because I know Trevor Chalobah was benched this in the Champions League game, and I'm sure he's going to start in the game against West Ham United. So I'm going to play 3 defenders. This is the formation that I like to play. In midfield, last week, remember I told you guys to get Enzo Fernandez, and yes, Enzo Fernandez delivered again. So this week, I'm going to give you Enzo Fernandez. I told you Bruno Fernandez will perform, and he did. So in midfield, I'm going to play Enzo Fernandez. I'm going to play Bruno Fernandez. Despite that, I'm going to play Brian Mbeumo too, because Brian Mbeumo is in outstanding form, and he looks like he's like a pick for who's this Michael Carrick, a must pick. So yeah, Bruno Fernandes is that guy that I'm going to pick. And also I'm going to put in Harry Wilson in my team. Harry Wilson has been giving in those nice points game week in and game week out. He's been bringing in those nice points. So Harry Wilson also is a guy that I'm also going to consider in having in my midfield. And despite those guys, I'm still thinking, should I take Declan Rice in my team? So I don't know, because I don't have any other player in mind. So I'm just going to put who's this? Declan Rice, to make it a midfield of what? Of 5 guys. And then in front, I'm going to play 2 strikers. This week I'm playing different. I'm going to play Erling Haaland and Evan Nelson. And my captain's armband is going to be with Erling Haaland. So that's the team we're going to play in Gameweek 24. Moving into the fixtures of Gameweek 24, we're going to have a late kickoff at 5 o'clock. The first match is going to be Brighton versus Everton. I'm looking at this game to be both teams to score. And then we're going to have Leeds versus Arsenal. Arsenal is going to win this game, but then Leeds is going to give Arsenal a tough time, and they're going to score at least 1 goal. Wolves versus Bournemouth. I'm going to go with Bournemouth winning this game because Bournemouth are really in good form. Chelsea versus West Ham United. This is an obvious game, but then it's not going to be an easy game for Chelsea. It's going to be a London derby. So I'm still giving it to Chelsea winning this game. And then we're going to have Liverpool, Newcastle. This is more like the game of the weekend. A very big game, difficult game for Liverpool and Newcastle. Newcastle go to Anfield. Very tough game. But then Newcastle are still that team that are capable of doing wonders. They draw against the world champions. The UEFA champion, because the world champions are Chelsea. So yeah, let's just put that. They draw against the UEFA champions guys and came with a 1-1 draw. So I still give Newcastle a chance of maybe getting a draw out of this game. Despite that, we have Aston Villa versus Brentford. I'm giving this game to Aston Villa. We have Manchester United versus Fulham. Manchester United, straight pipe. We have Nottingham Forest versus Crystal Palace. This game I'm giving it to Forest in good form. And then we're going to have Tottenham Hotspur versus Manchester City, another hot game of the weekend. So these guys are playing a hot game, and these guys also playing a hot game. But then both teams won in the Champions League, so I'm giving them full trust to give us an interesting game this weekend. But then these games, I'm giving them both draws. Or Man City will win, and or Liverpool will win. And then on Monday, we have Sunderland versus Burnley. This game I'm giving to Sunderland to win, but then it might also have some goals, so you can put it on BDS. So that's all we had for you on this episode today. Thank you very much for being with us, and see you guys.